Good morning. I am Jan Cercone at Jan Jorgensen Cercone, adding in my maiden name at Sound and Light Healing Arts. And every Wednesday morning, we have a chat room and come together with some topic. And this topic is helping us clear and become who we really are. So the topic is usually one of letting go of something or bringing something in, and we use a very simple process. It's called the Be the Light 3-step process, where we set a sacred space, we call in our healing unseen guides, and we make an intention to let something go or to bring something in. So today's topic is a little bit different in that it's not specific. Sometimes we know there's this one thing that bugs us and we think about it, but how about the feeling of overall dread? That feeling of when you get up in the morning, there's a feeling of dread. Or there's like a whole group of family coming over to your house for a holiday. And it's not one thing like a sister-in-law who talks too much or someone who gets drunk and burns the food. I'm talking about an overall blanketing, painting that whole experience with like a dark gray. And that your endocrine, your emotional system, your nervous system, everything about this thought or this episode, or for some people, it can be their whole life, or going to work, their job, or their relationship, dread. And so let's really describe what dread feels like first. If you looked at the Abraham Hicks vibrational scale of emotions, it would be on, you'd feel demoralized, you'd feel uninspired, you'd feel flat, annoyed, and underneath that is great anger usually and sadness. The anger is that, oh my God, I have to do this again and I don't want to, and life's will is taking me and put me against all this yuck. And then the sadness is a sense of helplessness, hopelessness, that this always turns out this specific way. I dread, you hear people say, I dread doing that. But there's different shades of dread too. I'm talking about lifelong patterns that come up, that you're in that same, it's the same room, and there is like a four-sided blocking of light. And when you say the dread and feel the dread and you focus on it, it's good to focus and feel so you can clear it, but don't stay there, because there's no windows in that room with dread. You might as well just lay down, and then what? You lay down, and then it's more hopeless and more helpless, and you feel that everything you do and think won't make a difference. And then it's a sense of, there is fear in there, but the fear is interesting. It's the fear that if you attempt to do something, you will be thwarted and hurt or disappointed once again. So actually fear is an emotion that's up the scale. You're not even in the fear yet. You're in like, ugh. You're like, why speak? Why even go? But you feel you have to. So the first thing is, do you really have to? That's why people get sick. People arrange to get sick and have emergencies so they can avoid the dread. Rather than face and deal with and talk about and ask for new solutions within themselves or other people, it seems like such a heavy uphill battle. They will get sick on purpose. They will eat the wrong foods. They will do everything in their power to be helpless, and therefore they have a good excuse. They can stay in that dread, but they're not really in the dread, are they? They're in the sick room. They're pre-dread. So sickness sometimes is good because it takes a little bit of time out that people feel that they are then, they can ask for without appearing weak. But actually, illness is a contract too, and we know that now. That when people contract things, then they need to work with that illness because it is a level of avoidance. And we all have these avoidance patterns because we don't want to go into the dread. We can take little things that bug us and kind of dance around it. But the big ball of dread that has become our life, our relationship, our job, or even thinking about the future with a sense of dread, this is big, and so it takes a big avoidance. Cancer, a heart attack, just becoming a recluse and staying away. So how do we get out of dread? It's like a quicksand. When you're in it, you think, oh, I'm going to drown and never be able to breathe and never able to be free again. So I make a different recommendation, one that you might find surprising. And Gary Trudeau, who did a beautiful set of tapes for very wealthy people who take powerfully charge of their lives, is when things are really tough, you need to take a vacation. You need to get a buffer. You need to get out of that vibration. You need to cut the cord, and you need to go away by yourself or with someone who holds a loving high vibration, if you can arrange it. So go to a place that has a nice high vibration. And slowly but surely, you'll start revibrating, and you'll look back and you'll see it. My father had this term. There was a family that had a lot of alcoholism, a lot of sadness, a lot of low vibration and no vitality. And he would say that the whole group is a can of worms. And think about that. It's dark. They're stuck in the can. They're just slithering around, and they can't get in that dirt and do all the beautiful things that worms do. They're in a can. So we feel sometimes like we're in this can. So take your can on vacation, pop the lid, come out and have a new experience. So you're not retreading the dread. That's funny, retread the dread. No. Untread the dread. So you go to Hawaii, you go to, what's one of those clubs where they dance and act silly? You know, in Hawaii, everybody just has fun and pretends they're kids again. Something like that. Or even go into nature, or go into a place of a community where everyone is helping each other, like Finhorn, or even just a small Ananda community where the food is prepared mindfully and people smile and are kind and is just as good as they can be in their divine light. You need to get in the light. You need to experience something new. Staying in the dread with dreadful people are people who enjoy and embrace dread and actually enjoy that you stay in that dread. If you go into an environment where everybody's in dread with no windows and you are light and happy, and I just did my Be the Light meditation, what happens? You, who do you think you are bringing this light into our dread? We're not ready to change. We're comfortable. This is how we interact, and this is how we do things. And so they will use manipulation and shame and guilt to keep you small in that room of dread. So what you might have to say is, sorry, even though you're my birth family, even though you're a work that I chose for some reason somewhere along the line, I no longer vibrate in this room of dread. I wish you well. I'm on my way. And you go out that golden door. And you don't have to go back. You don't have to. But I'll tell you when you can go back. You can go back when you are vibrating and illuminating so strongly, where you have dealt with all of your stuff, where you go in, and no matter what they say or what they do, they can't hook you in. You are light. You are like Jesus walking through the lepers, hugging them, kissing them. When you have a high vibration, you can't get sick. You cannot get a virus. Viruses still can't vibrate and hold into a body that is over 1,000 hertz. These are facts. they can't, in their low vibrations, hook in and give you the disease of a low vibration thought. It just doesn't work. It bounces right off. So really, that is one way to stay out of the dread. Bless them, go on a trip. And there's many stories, this almost sounds biblical, but the prodigal son who leaves and comes back developmentally grown up and healed. And it heals the whole family, in a sense. So you get to choose. So first of all, you get to choose who to be with and what to do. That's the new way. The old way on earth was we stay in that little nuclear family. That's not how it is now. And if you're listening to this, you know that your work and your job description required coming into a very challenging situation so that your skills of moving through and learning about the light could burn anything off so that you could bring this to your family of origin, your primary family, your loved ones, and if they choose, and if they are ready, and if they want to, then it's available. But there needs to be a certain level of their awakening and beingness and presence to not push you away. So one of the reasons it's good to go away and to separate yourself a bit, for me it was getting a divorce, is that I always had thoughts in two different worlds, and it was so confusing to sort with the pressures of being supported and supporting them and all the issues that come up in everyday living. These newer, higher vibrational thoughts have a softer wispiness that there needs to be a space of quiet, allowance, and receivership. And if you have the noise and pressure of people in their dread, you can't get that signal of your higher self. So you must, it's not being selfish, it's being creatively aligned with your purpose to carve out a meditation time and space, and sometimes to even, again, leave that room. Now, if you're living in a house where there's other people, or in a world where there's other people, and it's not, at that point, in your way of thinking, how you've arranged your life, it's not possible to leave, then you have one room where you spray a beautiful light spray, you have images, and maybe little statues of things that inspire you, and you go in and you create your sacred space, and you let that be your rocket ship of realignment. And then you set your protection, and you go out into the world. Now, if you're holding a certain frequency, the idea of dreading anything doesn't even exist. What was that? Though I walk through the valley of evil, I fear nothing. Yes, it's because you're holding a vibration. They can barely see you. They don't understand you. And if you don't engage, and if you don't try to press your way upon them, you can just be a neutral or even pleasant presence amid the environment that you labeled as dread before. So we are constantly being challenged to lift our gifts and to hone our diamond. And so for myself, I find things that may have occurred before that bothered me. Now I can go in on the side and train and look and see who's involved, what are the energies, what gifts do I have that could be inserted appropriately, gently, so it won't inflame anybody's security control issues, in such a way that it cracks the vase of dread. And that stuff starts leaking out. And so suddenly there's no juice of fear or anger or dread there to feed those beings. And after a while, it will change. And this light and this love can get in this room of dread through the cracks, through these cracks that the light makes. Just like water goes through the cracks and eventually smooths the stones. So it takes patience. It takes knowing your own personality and your own emotional system So you never really entrain too deeply with the quicksand of dread, because when you see someone in a quicksand of dread, are you going to go jump in with them and try to pull them out? No, you have no tread. So you have to stay on solid ground, and you have to find a way to extend something to them that they want to hold on to, can hold on to, and you can hold your stability to allow them to come out of that cyclic sucking suffocation feeling that so many humans are in and will continue to be in, and maybe even in a more accelerated depth in the future as our systems continue to fail us to maintain basic living standards. So, again, let's go over this. First, you identify what is your dread, and you decide, do I have enough light to hold it, to illuminate, or am I still going to engage in tit for tat? Well, you might need to separate yourself. Get your foundation so that when you go back, and these people that are in quicksand, you have a strong foundation. And if you felt that person was pulling you in, and you were falling over and falling in, what good that would do for both of you to drown. At some point, you might have to ask for help. Hello, community, come here. Hold on to me. Or someone, I need a tree. Bring me something so I can help this person. We each are not the guru, end all, rescue all, okay? So there's contracts, but you don't have to do it all. And you do not have to go down with that person. You don't have to spend your time in training and vibrating in their dread and essentially suffocating. So you find your place of separateness, wherever it is. You call in and you do the Be the Light meditation. So these are all just creative pictures to help feeling states within you listening to this come up, resonate with it, and say, oh yes, I have this thing of dread coming up, where the people or the environment, everything about it makes my blood curdle. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to re-pattern that so you can go in and be like Teflon. Everything can roll off, okay? Okay. Take a deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth. We ask and intend to set a sacred space. We place a hold on of balance over our entire body now. Only energies of the highest light may be in this space. We remove any energies, courting, expectations, or agendas of other people. We remove all of that from our beingness, our consciousness, our emotional, physical, mental fields now. So we are free. We are essentially just us. We have lots of space. So we're calling in our spirit guides, and we're going, all the space that was held by this presumption of way things should be, and pressures and outside vibrational forces. We're going to order up a high vibration formula from the Creator that will come in and fill these spaces with something that contains new pictures, new ideas, a stairway, a golden stairway where you can walk up and look down and see all the actors in your movie, lovingly, humorously, without attachment. Beautiful. So here you are, completely calm, and the Creator stirring it up, smiling. The Creator of all that is adding colors and sparkles and energies to delight you as you move beyond your normal human operation system. So it's all being stored up, put in a beautiful golden pitcher and brought down by your angels. And just relax as this beautiful Beautiful. It's like a ball of light that is now melting into your crown chakra. Let it melt down into your brain, into your skull, your brain, into your nervous system, into your shoulders, into your upper chest, and let it pour into your heart. So in your mind, repeat after me. I ask and intend to deeply, profoundly, and permanently release the sadness in my heart that life has been so difficult, that I feel that I come across the same situations and am not making progress. I am now releasing these thoughts and these feelings, the shame, and I'm noticing that I am seeing and feeling and doing things differently. I ask and intend that I stay perfectly awake in every moment. In my awakeness, to be present and witness all that is with love. I allow myself to see and sense situations, the sadness and fear, manipulation and anger, and I stay calm and centered and joyful. I allow people to have their reactions to me as they wish. I speak the truth if asked, or if my divine guidance guides me to bring this forth. And I hold this to be my absolute truth now. Take a deep breath through the nose and out through the mouth. And let these energies just pour through your body, your back, your lungs, your organs, your legs, your knees, and down out the bottom of your feet. Connecting into the earth grid. Now let these energies come up from the earth through your feet, your legs, your torso, into your heart. We make any last minute adjustments. Breathing in the light of love and truth. Again, you are not responsible for anything else. This is what you are responsible for. Holding light and love and truth. Just exuding it. Wordless sometimes, and sometimes very strong words. Let this energy go up through your neck, into your head, and at the top of your head, back up to Creator Source and plug in. So notice if we use the word dread or dreaded situation, if there's any vibrational pictures or visions or anything going on within your body. And just pour light over it. Let your heart put out the fire, the cool light of love. Let it saturate that situation. Knowing that one step at a time, one word at a time, if it is in your highest good to engage in this way, will make a difference or a complete turnaround miracle. You know that your work is just to stay anchored in this light and in this love. And so it is. So as we finish this meditation, go ahead and put a beautiful golden resilient egg around your entire body, that only energies of the highest light may come into your space. And so it is. We've recreated our energy fields and our thoughts today. So we're going to sign off on this part of the meditation, and then we have a half an hour conversation with people live on the line. Do join us on these meditations. I'm Jan Jorgensen Cercone at Sound and Light Healing Art. Thank you.